ओम सर्वधर्म स्थापकस्थं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. We have to study from today 7th chapter of Sri Ramakrishna the Great Master as the spiritual teacher, first part, and the name of the chapter is Grace Bestowed on Mathur in the mood of the spiritual teacher. It appears lengthy. In Bengali, 3-4 words. Guru Bhave Mathure Prati Kripa. Now, so previous chapter was also Mathur. And Mathur, seeing that Thakur's Guru is getting unfolded. And the grace also was bestowed by Mathur seeing Shiva and Kali. But that was mainly that Mathur's idea about Thakur was getting better and better, and he was witnessing the manifestation. Now, some incidents will be told. We speak directly of some special grace. And the shloka, as usual, has been given. Last shloka was also from Vibhuti Yoga. Now, this also is from Vibhuti Yoga. There it was that Arjuna asked, please tell me in detail. And Krishna tells that detail has no end. So I will tell you only represented. Now here, first Vibhuti, Bhagavan is telling. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashaya Sthita Aham Adishya Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. Now because of this cha, there are 4 Vibhutis have been told, you may say. First is, I am the Atma. Sarva Bhuta Ashaya Sthita. Now Ashaya here is Hridaya. The storehouse of Anubhav. All the experiences are stored in the Hridaya. So that is Ashaya here. Do not connect Ashaya with Karma Ashaya and Kundalini. Bhuta's Ashraya. Bhuta's Ashaya is Hridaya, this receptacle of all experiences. There I am sitting as their very self. That is the first Vibhuti. And then I am Adishya Bhutanam. I am the origin that from me all the beings have been born. Second, Madhyancha. That means Sthiti Kale Api. when the world is already created, then also I am with the Bhutas. And Anta Evacha, finally the Bhutas go back to me. So Sthiti, Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya of the Bhutas is from me. But this separately has been told because of Cha. That means all beings are born from God. That is one Vibhuti. All beings live in God. That is another Vibhuti. All beings go back to God. That is another Vibhuti. So these are the very fundamental Vibhutis. And not I am this in mountain and that in the rivers, and that is for the extrovert mind. But right from the introvert mind, not introvert, ingoing mind, these are the Vibhutis. So we shall see how Mathur experiences this fact. That is the significance of the shloka here. The first para heading, in the company of the master, Mathur celebrated the worship of Mother Durga at his Jan Bazar house. Two incidents will be told from this. First will be on Saptami, and then second will be Vijayadashmi. And that is really Guru Bhava there. Now, there was great rejoicing that year on the occasion of the worship of Mother Durga at the Jan Bazar house of Mathur. That year. For although year after year the same indescribable bliss was shared by all, the old and the young, the ladies and gentlemen, here was something special this year. At the time of the worship of the Divine Mother of the Universe, Father had graced the occasion with his holy presence and had enhanced that bliss 1,000 times. So the first class, you understand? I, I feel this throughout India, but especially in Bengal. That at the time of Durga Puja, the whole atmosphere is filled with joy. Throughout India, in different names, Navaratri and Garba and so many things. But the world is more happy on that day, on in that occasion. Why? Because the Puranas tell us mother also has a mother and father. And she lives in Kailash with Shiva. So she becomes unapproachable to us. But she comes to her house on the earth. So she comes very near us. And because of the presence of the Mother of the Universe, which is the mother for all, we feel happy. That is the simple thing. But in Bengal, or wherever Bengalis live, I should say, it is much more. And now we are in Advaita Ashram, so we do not feel this. But I remember I was in Shillong, and just one day before Durga Puja, I was to go out to Itanagar. So the devotees were surprised. Oh, Puja, you will not be here. Puja, you will not be here. Missing Puja, you are going somewhere. So this is much more in Bengal. So the first class told, although year after year the same indescribable bliss was, and this cannot be described. What that bliss is, nobody can describe. The very atmosphere is filled with bliss. And everybody feels that, old and the young, ladies and gentlemen. Here was something special this year at the time of worship. Father had graced the occasion with his holy presence. Now in Thakur, Mother Durga is manifested much more. And because of that manifestation, they were seeing the manifestation in the image, also in Thakur. And because of Thakur's presence, much more living they were feeling. And because Thakur was present, even the image was showing more presence. So this was the experience. And it says 1,000 times. 1,000 is always the representative of infinity. Indescribable bliss. But that year, beyond the possibility of description. So much joy was there in Mathur's house in Jan Bazar. There was therefore no limit to their rejoicings. Yes, infinite. Just as a child, beside himself itself with joy and free from fear, makes importunate requests to its mother, and without a cause laughs, dances, and does such other things before her. You have seen small child laughs, laughs, dances, and does such other things in front of the mother. So what is the cause? I have a mother, that's all. So that he fills with joy. And laughter, dance, they are the expressions of joy. And the other thing is, he thinks mother is all powerful. She can do anything for me. That is the feeling of a small child. So importunities in Bengali Abdar. Anything he demands from her, anything. Does not think it is not possible for her. She is all powerful for him. And dear to him. And the child knows mother loves him. So these are the factors. So did father, though Mathur is calling him father. The unique child of the Divine Mother. Unique child. And he had this Balya Bhav towards mother throughout his life, whether he was in old or young. Behave under the influence of his divine mood, incessantly experiencing the direct manifestation of the mother in the image. Thakur could more clearly see the manifestation in the image than other people. And the image appeared to be living and smiling and to be made of light. Again, the manifestation of the mother in that image and the manifestation of the same mother in the Master's divine body and mind combined together to fill the atmosphere of the worship hall with an indescribable and indefinable divine presence. So that is the thing. Felt even by the dullest minds. So it was so much that not only the devotees, but the dullest minds also could feel it. This evident presence in the worship hall appeared to have illumined not only the hall, but the hearts of every member and every nook and corner of the entire house. Beautiful description. Entire nook and corner of the house and the hearts of all. And lent a unique beauty everywhere. Beauty I defined, that which gives us joy is beauty. So the whole thing has become beautiful, unique, beautiful. And it could not but be so. For just now, another reason for that is being told. For just as the Rajasika devotion of the wealthy Mathur left nothing to be desired in the collection and arrangement of the material requisites of the worship, such as flowers, fruits, roots, and sweets, the decoration of the image with valuable clothes and ornaments, and of the walls, doors, and floors of the house with green leaves, flowers, flags, and buntings, and the provision of musical instruments such as flutes and the like. So Rajasic Bhakti is expressed through all these things. And for the dullest mind, sometimes that acts much more. So again, the divine spirit in the wonderful master, penetrating all these inert material things, had indeed breathed a joyous life into them all. So the outside things also, because of Thakur's presence, in that life was filled. The calm beauty suggested by the, now he's giving some examples. The calm beauty suggested by the ochre cloth of the austere monks in the sublime setting of the grand clumps of evergreen devdars in the snow-covered Himalayas. One example. Snow-covered Himalayas are always beautiful, sublime. And there when we see the sannyasi, we feel more sublime. One example. External beauty and the sannyasi's characters. Second example. The tender beauty of a beautiful suckling on the breast of a beautiful mother. The mother is beautiful, but the child is suckling. So the motherhood is getting manifested and the child is filled with joy. So this is another beauty added by another beauty. And the wonderful glow that pure thoughts and sentiments produce in a beautiful face. Another. A face is beautiful, but if it's filled with purity and good thoughts, then that gives much more joy to the other. Glow. Had all combined together in the house of Madhurbabu. All these three are combined. So what more can you describe? Need it be said that all these were due to the dawning of a unique good fortune on Mathur? Need it be said that the master of the house and his wife, in spite of their being busy in making proper arrangements for things pertaining to the worship, were constantly being filled with an indescribable bliss, and were feeling in their heart of hearts the grace and beauty of the holy atmosphere. So more than the guests and everybody, they were feeling much more because it was in their house and they had made all arrangements and they had so much devotion for Thakur. The worship during the day came to an end. You know, in Bengal, Durga Puja starts only on Saptami. Shashti, there is Bodha, invoking. Panchami also there is some Adivas. But the puja is said to be 3 days, 7, Saptami, Ashtami, no. Dashami is Visarjan. This is especially in Bengal, where the image is made. Otherwise, in Maharashtra, Gujarat, as far as I know, it's all 9 days same. First day of the Navaratri is special in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So, in Bengal, 7th, 8th, 9th, so what I am telling is, here it is said, the worship during the day came to an end. So what is this day? Saptami. They just snatched a little time somehow to offer flowers with great delight at the holy feet of the Father and of the Divine Mother. They means Mathur and his wife. They offered flowers Anjali, not only to mother, first to Thakur and then to mother, because they saw the manifestation there. It was dusk. Now the arati of the mother of the universe would begin. This Anjali is done in the afternoon, after puja. That worship during the day had come to an end. And as a part of that, this Anjali. It was dusk. That means after some time. Now the arati of the mother of the universe would begin. Why this is important, I am telling you, is that there is a time gap. When they offered flowers to Thakur, he was in a different mood. Now he is in a different mood. For that, this time gap. The master's Bhav Samadhi and personal beauty. It was thus. Now the arati of the mother of the universe would begin. Bhav Samadhi we understood in the second chapter. Bhav is a relationship with God. Samadhi is that other things are not present. Father was then in the inner apartment and had completely forgotten his male body. Under the influence of a maddening spiritual mood. Maddening like Sakhiva. Maddening because he is not conscious of the world and not conscious of his male body also. The only thought that expressed itself through his words and action. Thought is expressed through actions also. These days there is a term for that, you know. Body language, body language. The only thought that expressed itself through his words and actions was that he had all his lives and throughout the ages been a woman companion of the divine. This was Thakur. 10%, 200% that wow. So it goes back and forth. All his lives and throughout the ages, he has been a woman companion of the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother was his life, his mind, his all in all. It was for the service of the Mother alone that he had assumed a body and was living his mode of life. That is his mind. He is aware that he is a human being. As a Sakhi, that's all. Otherwise, he is one with her. The master's face was brightened with spiritual emotion and love of the mother more than normal. And his lips were beautified with a unique smile. His looks, because the joy is more expressed through the smile. His looks, the movements of his hands and feet, and his gestures resembled those of women completely. What happens? I don't understand. The master was dressed in the beautiful silken cloth given by Mathur Babu, like girls. And he had put it on in the manner of a sari. It was a cloth, but he has put it like a sari. Who would say that he belonged to the male sex? The beauty and complexion of the master at that time were so charming that they overflowed, as it were, all around. In Bengali, what is the word? No, I know a special word about it. ठीक है. ठाकुर रूप तखन वास्तविक जन फाटिया पड़ित. Breaking the body, it is coming out. Overflow. That the beauty and complexion overflowed as it were all around. That complexion assumed a brighter hue when there was a spiritual emotion, as if a light came out of his body. People could not turn their eyes away when they saw that beauty in wonder. We have heard from the Holy Mother that the color of his body and that of his golden amulet, symbolizing a chosen ideal, which he used to put on his holy person, mingled together, as it were, and became one. Heard from Holy Mother because afterwards, when the disciples said it was not so, because of the austerities and because of his illness and all that, and because of touching others, it had become milder. Otherwise, it was golden, not fair. We have also heard from the Master himself, there was such beauty then that people used to stare at me. The chest and the face used always to be red, as if a light emanated from the body. As people used to stare, I always kept the body covered with a thick wrapper and asked the Divine Mother, importunately, here is your external beauty, Mother. Please take it back and give me internal beauty. Because of that, the color changed. People in general, contrast is being shown. People in general want to appear more fair and they apply hundreds of things to make it more fair. And Thakur does not like the external beauty. People are attracted to the external. I used to pass my hand over the body and slapping it again and again say, go in, go in. Because he himself is all powerful. So he is praying to the mother and he is doing himself. As the result of this, the exterior became pale as you see it. So the disciple saw it was pale. There are people in the world, Thakur's followers. They do not like to be attracted by their external appearance. Large gatherings of people at Kamarpukur on account of the master's physical beauty. So now he has shifted from that puja because he is discussing Thakur's beauty and he is telling previous occasions of that. We remember another event in the master's life in connection with his physical personal beauty. At that time, the master used to go every year to Kamarpukur and spend there 3 or 4 months in the rainy season. Because rainy season, Calcutta Ganga used to get polluted and malaria. So village life was better. And then returned to Calcutta. He went sometimes to the house of his nephew Hriday at the village of Shior. You have gone to Shior? You have gone to Kamarpukur? From Kamarpukur, walking distance. The path leading to Shior lay through Jairambati, the village of his father-in-law. It is nearer to Jairambati than Kamarpukur. So Thakur had to pass through Jairambati. The people of that village made importunate request to him to stay there for a few days, to which he agreed. Hriday, who was highly devoted to him, used to be always with him and served him in every way. During the period of master's stay at Kamarpukur, there used to be crowds of people there continually from morning to evening in order to see him and hear a few words from his lips. The women of the neighborhood finished sweeping and cleaning their houses very early in the morning and came with pitchers on their hips to take water home after their bath from the pond. That was the water source. That was village. The ponds were so clear. They took bath there also and filled the water for drinking also. And placing the pitchers on the bank of the Haldar pond near the master's house, Haldar Pukur. Haldar, somebody's name. So near his house or he might have built. Near the master's house, they came to the Chatujja's house and sat there. A big footnote is given here. I will tell you in my own way. What surname you have heard? Original surname do you know? Chattopadhyay. There are four main surnames among the Brahmins. Three most common, but I am adding four. Vande Upadhyay, worshipful priest. Vande in Bengali becomes Bandhu. Bandhopadhyay. Mukhopadhyay, Mukhya Upadhyay, the chief priest. Chatta Upadhyay, Brahmins from Chattagram, which is now in Bangladesh. So it is called Chatta Upadhyay. And Ganga Upadhyay. They lived near the Ganges. That Gangopadhyay has become Ganguli. Now, Bengalis have a habit of short form. So that Chatujjay, Chattopadhyay becomes Chatujjay. Vandyapadhyay, Bandhopadhyay becomes Bandujjay. Mukhopadhyay becomes Mukhujjay. No, Gangujjay does not become Ganguli. Now, English people heard it. They imagined that it is Chatterjee. Chatterjee is the Englishfication of Chattopadhyay. Basing not on Chattopadhyay but on Chatujjay. Now you understand? So we know Banerjee, Mukherjee, Chatterjee, Ganguly. Ganguly they could not change. But Banerjee, Mukherjee, Chatterjee is the Englification of the short form of the original surname. This is very clear to understand. Somebody told me that when they go to Ceylon, it becomes Chattersea, Banerjee. So these are all variants of the same original name. So Chatujjay's house, and sat there. They spent an hour or so in talks with the master and the women of his house, and then went to bed. They are going to take bath and bring water. But they go there, keep their pitchers, come to Chatujjay's house, talk for 1 hour, and then they go and take bath and go back. They come earlier than usual. Finishing their work early, they come. That happened every day. And if sweetmeats or other special preparations had been made the previous night in their houses, they kept portions of them for him before using them themselves, agrabag, and took that opportunity to bring and give them to him. Fond of merrymaking, he sometimes said to them, on seeing them come when it was scarcely dawn, the gopis met Sri Krishna at Vrindavan at various times in various ways. We are told that they had their pasture meeting at the time of going to the bank of the Yamuna to bring water. The sunset meeting when the Divine Lord returned with the cows after grazing them. Then the dance meeting at night and so on. So may I ask, Thakur is asking the ladies, if it is your birthday meeting, the women rolled with laughter on the ground to hear it. No shame in presence of Thakur. The men of the village came to the master after the women had gone home to do their daytime cooking and other duties. Women went, so men have time, they have come. They sat and talked with him as long as they liked. They will go to their house and take food later on. The women came again in the afternoon when they had spare time. And some of the men folk also came in the night. Night, not many, but some also came in the night. Again, men and women from distant places came very often in the afternoon and returned before sunset. Thus, there used to be gatherings of people like those during the car festival and the swing festival, Ratha Yatra and Dol Yatra. The spring festival is there. An incident regarding the master's personal beauty and his humility. For that, he has described this background. Once there was a similar arrangement for his going to Jairambati and Siot from Kamarpukur. As the master used constantly to be in ecstasy, his body became very soft like that of a boy or a woman. Boy means small boy. He could not travel even a small distance without a palanquin or a carriage. This was why a palanquin was brought for him to go to Siot via Jairambati. Hriday made ready to accompany him in a red silken cloth and with the gold amulet symbolizing his chosen ideal on his arm. He came chewing betel after his noonday meal to get into the palanquin. He saw there was a big crowd on the road near the palanquin. Men and women were standing all around. Surprised to see it, he asked Hriday, "What is such a big crowd for, Hriday?" Hriday, "For what else? You will go there today. They, showing the people, will not have an opportunity of seeing you for some time. This is why they all have come to see you." The master, "But they see me every day. Do they see anything new today?" Because they will not see for many days, so that is the speciality. But Hriday adds his own spice. Hriday, you look very handsome when you are dressed in silk cloth, chew betel, and both your lips shine with a ruddy hue. That is why they want to see you. What else? The master's mind was filled with an unprecedented feeling. He thought, alas, they are all occupied with the ephemeral external beauty only and do not want to see him who is residing within. He had all along a sincere repugnance to physical beauty. It increased 1,000-fold by this incident. He said, "What? Meant to crowd thus to see a man? Hence, I will not go anywhere. For people will crowd thus wherever I go." At once he went direct to the room in the inner apartment of the house, took off his dress and sat down, worried and afflicted. Anything was for him 10%, 200%. Filled with humility, the master did not go to Jarambat and Siot that day. Hriday and all others of the household exhorted him in various ways, but all efforts were of no avail. Just once imagine, now compare with us, Saradananda Swami is Delhi. That is why we are reading the life. that Nada Chada Tola Pada, comparing. Just once imagine, O reader, what a mean and contemptible idea this divine personage had of his own body. And think of ourselves, how mad after beauty we are. What rubbing and massaging, looking glasses, not for looking, huh? No, looking glasses, mirrors here, not eye lenses. Because eye lenses are put for design also. Goggles of many colors and all that. Arshi. Arshi is mirror, looking glass. Combs, razors, brushes, powdered pearls. This you know. Basin. Basin you know. Basin everybody knows. That basin is used for beautifying. It cleans the skin of any spots or this or that, any holes. So, and what a profusion of essences and pomades in the body. And again, in imitation of the West, what an excessive indulgence in the delusion that this cage of bones and flesh is ourself. And what an inordinate scramble for plunging ourselves headlong into utter ruination through that. Excessive attention to the body takes us to ruination. I remember here something very peculiar. In Chandigarh, two devotee girls used to come. They told me others are fast girls. And when they describe fast girls, 1 hour they take to make their hair. What is fast? Saradan Swamiji is speaking of both girls and boys. These days, new style has come. We used to feel when the chin is clean, we are better. But now dadi. You have seen? All young people from where it has started, you know that. Whenever I say Virat Kohli dadi. There is a cricketer Virat Kohli. And he put that dadi. First in the cricket team everybody put. And now the whole world puts it. That is passion. I am unable to look at him. Now he is telling for neatness and cleanness, what was necessary we should use. To be neat and clean, to have a pure and holy mind, and this excess. Do you, my dear sir, take them to be the same? Let us, however, resume our topic. So, Thakur's beauty is shown, reaction is shown, now we are compared, now we are going back to Jan Bazar. Jagdamba Dasi's cleverness in bringing to an end the master's ecstasy. Cleverness, spiritual intelligence. The Arati of the Divine Mother was about to begin. But that ecstasy of the Master did not come to an end. That Sakhi Bhav. Srimati Jagdamba Dasi thought she would somehow or other bring the Master to normal consciousness and go to witness the Arati with the other ladies of the house. But she was at a loss to know what she should do. When she found that the Master's ecstasy did not end, and she did not think it reasonable to leave him alone and go, she deliberated, what shall I do? When the Arati music begins, anyone whom I might I leave here to look after him, would surely run in the worship hall. There, as fast as her legs could carry her. And father also cannot take care of himself when he is in the grip of spiritual emotion. Thus, devoid of normal consciousness, it happened once that he fell on a live charcoal. This incident we come to know only through Jagdamba Dasi at this point. Otherwise, we do not see the mention in his life anywhere. But she has seen it. We know he fell down and his bone was shifted, but not on fire. Thus, devoid of normal consciousness, it happened once that he fell on a live charcoal and was not conscious of it. It was not conscious even after falling on the charcoal. Nobody conscious. It was only after a great deal of care and treatment that the sore could be healed. Fire will do its work. If I leave him alone, any similar disaster might happen on this happy occasion. What then? And what will my husband think? So, something bad may happen and the husband will scold her. She was thinking thus when a plan suggested itself to her. Taking out hurriedly all her precious ornaments and putting them on his person, ladies' ornaments. She began to whisper again and again into his ears, let us go, father. Mother's arati is to begin soon. Will you not fan mother with chamara? This habit you know. In big arati, everyday arati, last item is chamar. But in big arati, a person, two persons, as many, they go on doing chamar. Sometimes even that big fan, tarpatri fan, palm tree, chamar. What is chamar, by the way? What chamar is? No idea? Tail of a cow. The name of that cow is chamar cow. And why chamar? Why not fan? Filtered air, gentle air. Fan air sometimes hurts the body when directly it is blown. Chamar air, when it goes through chamar, a light filtered light, there it goes. So chamar, understood? No, I should tell whatever I know. The manner of the masters coming down from the state of samadhi is in accordance with the scriptures. That means he is in the samadhi thinking of the mother. Now outside, if something of that mood comes, then his mind is ready to come outside. It was always observed that however much the master might have been devoid of normal consciousness, under the influence of spiritual moods. However far his mind might have traveled from those things, Holy Mother Thakur taught her, no, if you see this type of samadhi, you utter this mantra. For his mind might have traveled from those things, persons or ideals on which his mind had begun to be concentrated, persons or ideals, the form of God or that bhav. It was invariably attracted back to and understood those forms or ideas if the names or expressions connected with those ideas or forms were uttered into his ears a few times. That such are the nature and behavior of a concentrated mind is recorded briefly, if not at length, in the yoga scripture of Patanjali and others. The reader well versed in the scripture, therefore, will not take long to understand such behavior of the master's mind, and those who, as a result of many virtuous actions, attain a little of mental concentration in their lives, will more easily understand it. Ordinary man understands when he listens to this. And one who has done sadhana, by his own experience, he will understand. Let us therefore follow the subject of which we are speaking. Because the why Jagdamba used that was necessary. So the master fanned the goddess Durga with a chamara in the spiritual attitude of a woman friend. The words of Jagdamba Dasi entered the master's ears and immediately regained his normal consciousness to a great extent. That means he is still the Dasi, but not totally gone into bhav, but external. Normal means external. And beside himself with joy in partial consciousness, he accompanied her. She has put ornaments on him. No sooner had they arrived in the worship hall than the arti commenced. Surrounded by the ladies, the master began to fan the image with a chamara. The ladies stood on one side of the hall and the gentlemen, including Mathur Babu, on the other side. Were all witnessing the arti of the Divine Mother. Indian custom. As soon as Mathur Babu's eyes fell on the ladies, he saw that a lady stood near his wife and was fanning the mother with a chamar, radiating wonderful beauty from her person, dress and ornament, from everything beauty. Although he looked again and again, he could not know who she was. He thought at last that she might be a friend of Jagdamba, some rich man's wife who had perhaps come by invitation. He imagined it. The arti was over. The ladies saluted the Divine Mother, went back to the inner apartments and were busy doing their duties. In that state of partial consciousness, the master went into inner apartment with Mathur Babu's wife and came gradually to normal consciousness. He then took off the dress and ornaments, came out and sat with the menfolk and raising various religious topics, charmed all by his lucid explanation and up. So in the main, he was a man. Unable to recognize the master in that state, Mathur asked his wife. A little afterwards, Mathur Babu went to the inner apartment on some business and asked his wife in the course of the conversation about the lady who had been standing near her and fanning the mother with a chamara at that time of Arati. Mathur Babu's wife smiled and said in reply, "Could you not know who she was?" Father in ecstasy was fanning the Divine Mother thus. That is quite possible, for one cannot know Father to be a man when he puts on dress and ornaments like a woman. Saying so, she told Mathur Babu everything from beginning to end. He was very much surprised and said, "This is why I say, who is able to recognize Father, even in trifling matters, if he does not allow himself to be recognized?" You know this. Shastra provision for this. There is a Tulsi line. Tulsi Das. Write down if you like. Janata Shehi Janata Jahi Deta Jandehi Janahi. Janata Tumahi Vahi Jahi. Shehi Janata Jahi Dehu Janahi. He only knows whom you give him the knowledge. And once he knows you, he becomes you. Janata tumahi hoi jai. Okay? So this is the Saptami incident. Then the next will be Vijaya incident. Om Sarvadharma Sthapakasvam Sarvadharma Swarupaka Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.